Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn about the queue concept. So mainly we will see what is the definition of queue and what are the terms that are related to queue, and mainly what are the operations that can be performed on the queue. First of all, we will have a general discussion about the queue. Yes, the word queue is a term what we normally see or hear at reservation counters, mainly at railway stations, at RTC bus stands, at theatres, etc. etc. So, the queue here what we are discussing is same as the queue what we see at reservation counters. For example, see here, this is the reservation counter and you can see here 4 people standing one after the other. I can call this as a queue. And this person is the first person in the queue and this person is the last person in the queue. For example, after some time, one more person wants to join the queue, right? So where he will be joined? Definitely at this position, right? At this position. So this end is going to be called as rear end. It is called as rear end. So what is rear end? The end at which new people will be joined, that end is going to be called as front end. Now see here, this is one more end, this is one more end. This end is called as front end. That end is going to be called as front end. So the simple definition of front end is the end at which the first person standing, we are going to call that end as front end. We are going to use these terms in our concept, front end as well as rear end. Now see this, I am going to call this as a queue, right? And this end is called as the front end and this end is called as the rear end. Suppose if I am having already 3 elements, so this time instead of persons I am taking the values in the queue. So already 10, 20 and 30 are present in the queue. Now if one more value is to be added, at which end it will be added? Yes, it is rear end. For example, I want to add 40, so through this rear end 40 will be added. And now I want to add one more element, so through rear end one more element will be added. And now I want to delete one element. So from front end elements will be deleted. So what is the reason why only front end? For example, see this reservation counter example. So whenever the tickets are being sold, the first person will get the ticket. Okay, that means the person which is at the front end, okay, will get the ticket and he will be removed from the queue, right? So similar concept, if you want to delete any element from the queue, so the element which is at the front end will be deleted first. So 10 will be deleted. And if I want to delete one more element, so 20 will be deleted. Now 30 is the front element. 50 is the last element. If I want to add one more element through rear end, I have to add. So I am going to add 60. If I want to delete from front end, I have to delete. So the same concept we are going to use in the program also, right? Now we will see the definition of the queue. So queue is a linear data structure in which the addition of elements are done at rear end and deletion of elements are done at front end. So just now we have seen this, right? So addition of elements are done at the rear end, deletion of elements are done at the front end. So in examinations you can write this definition. And see the second point, queue is based on the principle first in, first out. First in, first out. That means whichever the element that was inserted first, for example in this case 10 was the element that was inserted first into the queue, right? So if I want to delete, so 10 has to come out first. So first in, that has to come first out. So queue was based on the principle first in, first out. Whereas if you do remember for the stack, so what is the principle for the stack? Last in, first out. See the next point. The two variables that are associated with the queue are front and the rear. So just now we have seen in examples. So front will always point to the first element, rear will always point to the last element in the queue. And now we will see some of the important queue operations. First important one is enqueue. Enqueue means adding an element to the queue is called enqueue operation. So adding an element to the queue is called enqueue operation. Very simple definition. Next one is dequeue. Dequeue is nothing but deleting an element from the queue. So in examination you can write all these operations as it is. So deleting an element from the queue is called as a dequeue operation. See the third operation, peek. Peek means this function is used to get the element at the front of the queue without removing it. So for example, if this is a queue what we are having, and suppose if you have 10 here, 20 and 30. So this will be the front end and this will be the rear end. Now if you want to know what is the element that is in front of the queue, simply use this function. So it will give the value 10. It won't delete from the queue, but 10 will be written and displayed on the screen. And the next operation is empty. So this function or this operation is used to check whether the queue is empty. And fourth one is, this is not empty, this is full. Please make the correction, is full. So this function is used to check whether the queue is full or not. So these are the 5 important queue operations. And the next one is queue overflow and queue underflow. These are the two conditions that are associated with the queue. These are the two error conditions. First one is queue overflow. Let's see what is the meaning of this. When the queue is full and if we try to add one more element to the queue, then it's lead to a error situation called queue overflow. What is the meaning of this? The queue is already full and if you try to add one more element to the queue, which is not possible, so then that situation is called as a queue overflow. For example, see this queue here. So the maximum size is 5 and already 5 elements are there in the queue. And now if you try to add 60, which is not possible. So in this case, you will get a queue overflow. And next one is queue underflow. So it is quite opposite to this queue overflow. See the definition. When the queue is empty, and if we try to remove an element from the queue, then it leads to a error situation called queue underflow. So what it basically means is, see here, there are no elements in the queue, and now if you try to remove an element which is actually not possible again, so then this error situation is called as queue underflow. So these are the two conditions that are associated with the queue. First one is queue overflow, second one is queue underflow. Now the next point is implementation of queue. That means basically queue is an idea that is first in, first out. So how can we implement this idea? So there are two ways. First one is by using the arrays. Second one is by using the linked list. Now in this video, I am going to discuss the implementation of queue by using the arrays by taking an example. See the example here. So this is the queue and the size of the queue is 5 and these are all the indexes. Initially the queue is empty, right? The queue is empty, and observe the values of rear and front. Rear is equal to -1, front is equal to -1. So remember, what is the condition for stack empty? So if rear is equal to -1 and front is equal to -1, then I can say the queue is empty or queue underflow, right? Now we will see the sequence of operations. That means sequence of the first operation I want to perform is NQ. So NQ of 10. What is the meaning of NQ? Adding the element. Remember one thing, whenever you are adding the first element in the queue, whenever you are adding the first element in the queue, I repeat, whenever you are adding the first element in the queue, increment both rear and front. You have to increment both rear and front. For example, so I am adding 10 here to the queue. So increment the rear, so it will become 0, right? Now this will rear will point to 0. Yeah, we also have to increment the front. So increment the front. What is the reason why we are incrementing both the variables? So just understand this. In our queue, there is only one person. There is only one person. So that person will be the first person as well as the last person, right? So for that reason, so this 10 is pointed by both front end as well as the rear variable. And next I want to add one more element. So NQ of 20. NQ of 20. So from the next onwards, you have to increment only the rear end. Okay. So increment the rear end. So now rear will point to the 1 and add the element to the queue. Remove this here. Now I want to add one more element to the queue. So NQ of 30. So first of all, what I have to do is increment the rear and add 30 to this, 30 to the queue, and erase this here. So remove this, and I want to add one more element. So NQ of 40. So first of all, increment the rear value is 40 now, and I want to insert one more element, that is 50. So again increment the rear. So insert the element or add the element to the queue. Now observe here, all the elements, the queue is filled with all the elements, right? There is no space to add one more element. So how can you derive the condition, queue overflow condition here? So if you carefully observe, the rear value is 4. Rear value is 4. What is the maximum size? 5, right? So if you take the maximum size as n, whenever the rear value reaches 4, that is n minus 1, right? So from this I can derive the condition for the overflow. If rear is equal to n minus 1, I can say the queue is full, right? So queue overflow. So this is a condition for the queue overflow. In program, we will use this condition. Now observe the another case. At present, we have inserted 3 elements in the queue. So they are 10, 20 and 30. So front value is 0 because 10 is the first element. and rear value is equal to 2. And next I want to perform the DQ operation. Okay, so I want to perform the DQ operation. So for DQ operation, which variable will be incremented? Front variable we have to increment, right? So increment the front. So and delete this front here, and also delete this 10. Delete that 10. And next I want to delete one more element. So perform DQ once again. That means the first thing what you have to do is increment the front. Increment the front and erase the front here and delete the element also, right? Now I want to perform one more deletion operation. So perform the DQ. Perform the DQ. So for every DQ operation, we have to check one condition. What is that condition is, suppose whenever the front value is equal to the rear value. So in this case, observe here, there is only one element in the queue, that is 30. And front value and rear value both are pointing to the same value. So if whenever the front becomes rear, delete the element first of all. Delete the element and make the front is equal to -1 and rear is equal to -1, right? So whenever this 30 is deleted, observe here carefully, whenever 30 is deleted, it means that Q is empty, right? So whenever Q is empty, you tell me what are the front and rear values? Yes, front is equal to -1 and rear will be -1, right? So whenever you are writing the program, for every DQ operation, you have to check this condition. So whenever the front is equal to the rear, and at that time, whenever you remove an element, so first remove that and make the front and rear values as both -1, indicating that the queue is empty. Okay? Now the queue is empty, right? So try to perform once again the DQ operation. So what is going to happen? Yes, the error condition will rise. What is error condition? Queue overflow, right? Sorry, queue underflow. So what is the reason? Already discussed, right? If a front value is equal to -1 and rear value is equal to -1, so that means it is queue underflow. There are no elements in the queue, so you cannot delete the element. So in this way we can understand the sequence of operations that can be performed on a queue, right? So in this examination you can draw all these things one by one, right? So I have drawn in a single slide, but in the examination you have to draw. So every time you have to draw this queue, right? Every time you have to draw this queue and you have to show the changes that are performed in the rear or front variables. Okay? I hope you understand this. Thank you for watching.